Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a best of three Collegiate StarLeague series. Starting in the lower right-hand corner, it is our green Terran out of Northern Arizona University, the Lumberjack, ThomYorke.
And in the top left-hand corner of Ohana, it is our red Terran representing the Colorado School of Mines. It is Zyrnak.
Yeah. And, of course, I'm OrD, that's ORD. Hopefully you're on my channel, OrD StarCraft, watching this. With me today is the lovely GaryOak Robotron. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello. I just go by GaryOak normally. That's just my long Twitter, because as you'd imagine, GaryOak is really hard to get on Twitter on its own.
Definitely. So GaryOak, but follow him at GaryOak Robotron. ThomYorke throwing out the good luck, have fun. Let's see, was it reciprocated? Oh, it was. He was just a little bit late on it. That may actually make Zyrnak think that he's going to do some sort of cheese. But
If he really wants to try and trick him into cheesing, to start talking, like, say, oh, how was your day? What's up, man? And then, like, usually when someone's doing that, they're throwing up 2 barracks beside your base.
something like that. Or, rushing for that. God, I would love to see that in a competitive atmosphere or planetary fortress rush. Oh, man.
I don't know if I've actually seen it in a professional game. Like, I may have seen it once, maybe a long time ago. It's really hard to say, though. I've been following StarCraft 2 since beta, so it might have been a thing one of these days.
ThomYorke actually throwing up that supply depot before he goes out for the scout. He does not want to reveal anything, which is a little interesting.
Well, it's really good because Terran is such a hard race to scout, even for other Terrans, because if you block out the SCV, then who knows what you're doing. You could be going like triple command center before gas for all he knows, or going quick double gas for Cloak Banshee Rush. It basically forces a scan, unless you're really confident in your build.
Very true, or at least if you're doing a safe build, like a 4 racks or something like that. You can pretty much handle anything that's going to be thrown at you really early. York is about to scout Zyrnak, and Zyrnak has not moved towards scouting at all just yet. There's the worker bump. No, it's actually just a supply depot going down. Marine comes out, good timing for Zyrnak. However, ThomYorke will get to see all of the gas timings, the fact that they're not there, I mean.
Yep, so York should know that a command center is following this up.
Woohoo, there it is. And yeah, not a lot else is happening right now. TvT, mirror match. It's fun. Gas is down for ThomYorke. He's saving it up, getting near 100. What's going to be that building? It's going to be a factory? Yeah,
Yep, there's a factory. So what do you think he's going to do for mirror? Because he can still go for Banshees, but it would be cloakless, of course. It would be a little delayed.
I really feel like this can't be a 1-1-1, just because he hasn't been rushing anything. He's got his Marines moving out on the map already, and Mech is definitely good on this map, so I'm pretty sure he's going to follow up with a second factory and then expand. But these Marines do look like they want to prevent the command center from coming down to the low ground as long as they can. However, Zyrnak does have 3 Marines of his own.
Yeah, he'll easily be able to deflect this. He's upper Marine and he's building a bunker. He'll be completely fine.
Yeah, and he's positioned him nicely at the top of the ramp there. And York, ooh, a little bit of a delay there and pulling back. Does lose 1 Marine. Looks like he's going to get out of there. Or not, he's going to stick around as another Marine arrives, but now it's 3v2, and it's definitely going in Zyrnak's favor.
York's being forced back, but he's building his command center on the low ground, so there's actually a possibility that York will be mining from his natural before Zyrnak is, depending on how skittish he is about landing that command center once it's fully morphed into an orbital. And we do see the starport going up for York, and we do see Hellions, so we may actually see a Hellion drop. That's a very standard opening off of 1 gas.
Definitely is, and Ohana being kind of a narrow map, I don't like it all that much. I've seen it done, tried lots of times, but normally when there's just 4 Marines standing on a ledge somewhere, they can take care of it before it ever does any damage.
That's true. He is pumping out reactored Marines, so what he could do is he could push at the front, draw the forces there with the reactored Marines, then drop the 4 Hellions and get a lot of SCV kills and pull out. It's a good multi-pronged attack. We do see the medevac coming, so we will be seeing that. I assume we'll be seeing 3 Hellions before he moves out. because you do need 3 Hellions to kill SCVs in one volley.
Yeah, we see Zyrnak, though, has fully saturated his main, as we have a lot of chat from our observers in the replay here. And ThomYorke is definitely a bit behind in mining from the lower ground there, but he's only 4 workers behind, however, is down a couple of mules so far, so that income rate, if we open it up, definitely is in Zyrnak's favor.
For sure. We do see ThomYorke moving out here. Where's his medevac? Okay, there's his medevac. It's with his army, so he should be dropping the Hellions in the main base. Yeah, he's actually he might just be going for an elevator. Screw the two-pronged attack. So he's going to use the Marines to actually cover the Hellions as they're dropped in the main. Oh no, he's dropping the Marines first. Interesting.
It's quite interesting. The medevac is going up, and let's see. I don't think that Zyrnak has vision of this. No, he does not. Just that nice little ramp.
This could be really bad for Zyrnak.
Oh,
he does have 2 siege tanks out, though.
Yeah, just popping in time there. And wow, that's unfortunate for ThomYorke. That would have been amazing if not for the meat shields of the tanks here. He's doing really well still. Wow, I'm impressed.
He gets a tank. He might even get another.
Oh, tanks doing some great micro there, keeping some Marines alive, I think.
Tanks do a lot of damage in pun mode.
Yes, they do. Now they have SCVs, so they're going to do pretty well. But he really wants to force a cancel and or kill this tech lab here. A Viking arrives a bit randomly, but this is, yeah, 3 tanks against 2 Marines.
ThomYorke's not taking the hint. He's going in there. And...
He had the Marines on the low ground. He was trying to be cute about it and snipe one of the tanks, but they were all still pretty high health. So
I like the move of going for the researching tech lab, getting it to half health. He could have got siege mode if he had more Marines.
Yeah, and we see that ThomYorke is following that up with some more racks just because he wants to spite me. I said mech, I don't know what I'm talking about. 3rd command center coming down for Mr. York, and Zyrnak doesn't look like he plans to do that anytime soon, throwing down the NG Bay.
You were half right, though. We do see Zyrnak going for mech. So we got mech versus bio. There's a Banshee coming in for ThomYorke. He's actually going for these siege tanks.
It's kind of awesome because the Viking is there as well, and it's going to be Viking v Viking, which is going to win. Oh, there's a Marine that got added into the fight, so now this Viking is going to kill the Banshee. Banshee isn't even going to get one of these tanks, I don't think, as long as an SCV goes and repairs it once. Meanwhile, though, there is a drop into the expansion area, and it's being hit by a siege tank, but the splash damage is hurting the tank, rather the SCVs.
Yeah, that was a nice Marine bomb there. That Banshee nearly got 2 siege tanks. That was a pretty decent Banshee. Since he didn't invest in Cloak, he didn't really lose too much by sacking that Banshee.
Yeah, just trying to look at the workers killed so far. Only 3 have been killed by ThomYorke, so yeah, maybe. I don't know, kind of mute in the end. Didn't really gain a lot by doing that, but he did put the pressure on his opponent, and we noticed that Zyrnak hasn't moved out on the map really at all, laying down his sensor tower now. He plans to take this nice and slow and steady.
I really like that decision because as the mech player, if you move out too early and you allow yourself to get pulled apart by the bio player, you just lose because mech relies on hitting that critical mass of expensive, slow units. So it's on the bio player to out-expand the mech player and outmaneuver the mech player.
It's very true, and we have a lot of upgrades coming out of ThomYorke, who's been a macro machine thus far, sitting at 108 supply, 20 ahead of his opponent.
That's about standard for the bio, though. Bio should always be ahead of mech in supply. If mech's ahead of you as bio, you're in trouble, man.
That is pretty true, and Zyrnak looks like he wants to go ahead and take that 3rd man. Tanks do damage quickly, believe they.
Yeah, some people just underestimate how powerful pun mode is on siege tanks.
Pun? Just...
Yeah, that's what they call it in, that's what the Koreans called it in Brood War, because that's what it kind of sounded like.
Oh, I don't remember that at all, but okay.
From Brood War?
Yeah, I don't...
It sounds like, that's what it does. Sounds like pun.
A little bit, like the firing noise and
Yep.
Alright. Well, both players are establishing their 3rd base, and now's an opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about random stuff because nothing looks like it's going to happen too soon. GaryOak, where are you
Yes,
from?
sir.
Where are you from?
I'm from British Columbia, Canada.
We're sorry
Northwest.
for you. I mean, what?
Dude, BC is one of the nicest places in the world.
Is it?
We got
I have no idea.
It's beautiful out here, man. We got a really temperate climate, really picturesque tourist attraction.
Is it?
Oh yeah, we make a ton of money off the tourism industry. I hate going to the island though, or I live on the island, but to the mainland in the summer because the ferries are full of tourists, man. It's so annoying. They have like no idea what they're doing. It's so obvious that people are tourists. Like they're wearing all their like tacky tourist clothing and stuff.
Yes, I can relate to you exactly on that because I grew up in a tourist trap myself, the Grand Canyon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Torons is what we called them because they were morons. Tourist and moron. Get it? Yeah.
Oh, that's clever.
I know.
So, OrD, you ever seen
Yes.
Wicker Man?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a movie. It stars Nicolas Cage.
What?
It's
Girl-
so bad.
Spiral just said girls are gross. I want to just shout that out really quickly. And ThomYorke's at 170 supply as he moves out across the map to the 134 of Zyrnak. But Zyrnak has a really nice siege tank line, so that may negate the advantage of supply.
He also has the Vikings in the air too, so all that ThomYorke has to answer those Vikings are medevacs, and they don't do very well, so it'll be really hard for him to actually move in range of this massive tank concave without getting shelled to death. So he kind of have a bit of a stalemate in the middle. Oh, he's actually going for these medevacs. That's ballsy.
Is. Oh, wow. Flying in so close there and doesn't actually take any damage.
Yeah, slick flying, Ace.
Wicker Man. Nicolas Cage. Never heard of it. What's up with it?
It's really bad. Basically, the climax of the movie is him getting stung by a lot of bees, and the character's allergic to bees.
Fascinating.
You should watch it. It's something you have to see to believe. Like when he dresses up as a bear and punches out a chick.
What?
Oh, we do see actually a nice flank coming from ThomYorke here, breaking down these rocks.
Yeah.
Zyrnak should be in the know about this, though.
Yeah, he's bringing the Vikings over to double check and get the vision for the siege tanks. Doesn't matter, though. The rocks do go down. He was a little bit slow on that. ThomYorke is maxed out, and now would be a really good time for him to attack as those +2 mech upgrades are about to hit for... Or no, rather, +2 attack upgrade for him is about to hit, so he should wait. Thought those were for Zyrnak. I'm green-red colorblind. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm not colorblind. That would be impossible to cast this. And Bio moves into the lower left, catches some tanks unsieged, but it doesn't matter. They have so much support that only a few tanks die, and everything of ThomYorke's dies. But he's got his 4th base up. He's preventing the 4th base of Zyrnak from going up with this small group of Bio that's also threatening the flank, like GaryOak was saying. And I don't know. Definitely seems like Tom's going to slowly but surely win this.
Zyrnak looks pretty impenetrable. Look at this turret ring around his base. You're going to need a lot of medevacs and some Ravens with PDD in order to actually land a dropship in there.
True, I still remember watching Bomber when I first became a fan of him. He would just sit on 3 bases and allow his opponent to go 5, 6 bases, and then slowly but surely decide, now is when I move out. There's some tanks dying, a little unnecessarily for Zyrnak. Now he's got the air superiority with the Vikings, though, and he's going to force ThomYorke to unsiege and move back.
That was a decent sacrifice. He actually killed a lot of his opponent's tanks, and he actually has to do this because right now ThomYorke is able to take the entire half of the map, whereas Zyrnak is still on 3 bases. He has to crawl his line forward in order to take a 4th. Yeah,
and Zyrnak's actually trying right now to take that 4th, but he may lose it as the Bio is sitting there ready and waiting, and the tanks probably can't respond to it in time.
If those Marines wait for that command center and then stim and run in, here we go.
There. The Marauders are moving in too behind to go get some SCV kills, and that orbital is done for. The Marauders are getting kills. The tanks are unsieged, half of them anyway, and they are moving back, but it's too late. Damage has been done.
Wow, that command center died for nothing. And this is exactly what you have to do as a Bio player. You have to force the mech player into unfavorable engagements and pick off what you can, where you can.
Very true. Now there are some Thors joining the mix for York, who doesn't really want to mess around with getting Vikings of his own to compete against the Vikings of Zyrnak, and he actually doesn't have to.
It's a wise move.
Yeah, at this point, they're kind of a waste, and Thors can take a lot of shell damage. They can handle
that, and Thors do a lot of damage to clumped up Vikings, and Vikings naturally clump up when they move because StarCraft 2 has really advanced pathing.
That's true, and as long as we're here, we should mention that this was pre-patch, pre the recent patch, so neither of these guys are going to be doing any cool shenanigan with the Heatseeker missile, but man, is that fun.
Yeah, I was so excited when I saw those patch notes, and then I saw the patch notes for Heart of the Swarm, like, finally, they're finally doing something about the Infestor. Only 6 months too late, in my opinion, but...
I mean, they wanted to get Zerg up there, because before that, it was, you know... Zerg had never really had a moment to shine in the competitive scene, I think. Wow, Zyrnak with a massive move forward here gets a lot of York's army. The other half of York's army is not really going to be able to support this at all. He has to run. He has to run quickly. But not
Zyrnak
that direction. Oh no, ThomYorke's going to lose these tanks.
Oh wow, that's a pretty big blunder by ThomYorke there. And Zyrnak has a really decisive lead. He's got the superior bank and he has the supply lead.
I don't know how this is happening right now. What is happening? Okay, well now the Vikings are here. There's some cloaked Banshees too. And there's some bio units, but they don't stand a chance once these tanks siege. 2 Banshees against this many tanks? Are you kidding me? They have to run. Or they're just going to keep moving on in, actually.
That's what happens when you lose air control. ThomYorke is actually very smart here in hiding all these Vikings until, surprise, I just took out your whole air army. Now your tanks are forfeit. They're going to do a lot of damage to the production facilities.
They're going to do a ton of damage.
They'll eventually die.
There are 3 Banshees trying to kill... How many tanks is this? 15 tanks. 15 tanks. Siege up, scan on the high ground allows them to kill the bio units that were trying to hide and wait. The SCVs actually forcing the tanks to do a bit of splash damage on themselves. I don't like Zyrnak's decision to siege here, honestly. I think he could have done more damage by just trying to A-move up into the main.
Pretty much. Maybe sieging a few of the tanks, but not all of them. And this is the type of trade that ThomYorke needed to get back into the game. Because, look, he's still got his opponent trapped on 3 bases, and he just took out about 20 siege tanks.
And now the stim comes down on the Marauders in the upper right-hand corner. As he scans ahead and realizes there's nothing to defend against him, he's going to get in there and kill some SCVs. Meanwhile, though, there are some Hellions doing a run by... Oh, nice pull by ThomYorke. He is paying attention to that mini-map. And right now, I don't think Zyrnak has enough. Honestly, ThomYorke can probably push forward and land these Vikings and destroy the army that Zyrnak has. 113 supply to 156. That unit tab we still have open. It's only 42 SCVs to the 53 SCVs of York.
Yeah, York's definitely in the position to win this game, I feel, just because when you lose 20 tanks, it's almost impossible to come back from.
And now we have the Banshees moving in from the side. Ooh, actually losing some to the Thors there, but there are Marines and tanks. I actually really don't like how York took that engagement piecemeal, and Zyrnak managing to pop out a lot of Thors there. So he's going to manage to keep himself in this game. This is one of the reasons I like TvT so much. It's not just a matter of, oh, he's got 70 more supply, game's over. Even though I did say that. It's not.
Exactly. Well, the reason why I said that the game should be over-ish is because when you lose 20 tanks...
Oh, yeah. No,
As the mech player, you lose your army, that's it. Unless your opponent throws the game away, but Zyrnak does have the supply... Or, not the supply lead, but the he's got the bank right now to replenish, something that York doesn't really have.
He does, and the only thing Zyrnak may be hurting for soon is gas. But really, he's producing a lot of Hellions right now.
He does need to take a 4th, though. I mean, the longer this goes on, the worse it'll be. York can actually afford to trade in not cost efficiently, just because he's got 5 bases to 3.
Definitely. I mean, at this point, he could start just throwing Marines at that 3rd base and continuously killing SCVs, making Zyrnak sit defensively, and Zyrnak still hasn't set up that 4th. He's trying to. The scan comes down.
York knows he's actually scanned both possible locations for expansion, and he sent the Vikings over there. That could actually snipe the orbital really fast unless he instantly lands it.
Yeah, Zyrnak doesn't know about it either as he moves out towards the center. York doesn't know the command center's coming, but the Vikings, oh, they're going to meet it. Oh, yeah. Juicy target.
Look at Zyrnak's composition. I just want to point this out for a minute. 12 Thors, 2 tanks, 6 Vikings, and 20 Hellions.
Oh, wow, this bio ball is pretty darn big, and there's not a lot of tanks, but Thors are hard to kill. York actually needs to micro forward just a little bit here, or else everything may die for him.
Oh, wow. 12 Thors is apparently pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is. Meanwhile, though, those Vikings killed the full energy orbital, so I think York is just going to atrophy right now. He's just going to pull back and pull back and pull back, and the Vikings are going to do a lot of damage on the other side of the map.
They could wipe out this third base. This is terrible. But the thing is, Zyrnak could win the game just on the back of these Thors. I mean, he shouldn't have been able to do this, but his opponent allowed him to rebuild that army with that huge bank of his.
3-3-3 Thors are kind of hard to deal with. The Vikings are now fighting SCVs. Oh, beautifully done by Zyrnak there, as the Vikings take a lot more damage than they needed to, being blocked on the ramp by the SCVs.
Zyrnak has to win with this comp, though, because he's down to 1 command center, I believe. Yeah, 1 command center is natural, which is mined out. 7 SCVs. He's all in right now. And wow, look at that bio ball that ThomYorke has built up.
It's hiding, and it just got scanned. And there are some siege tanks along with these Thors. I don't know, man. These Thors are so good. The Vikings need to land. Yes, they do. They take a lot of shells from the Marauders, and Zyrnak wins the battle again. Thors are hard to kill.
13 Thors still on the battlefield for him. More just crawling across the map. I think... Does York seriously have this? I don't know what I'm watching right now, OrD.
We have so many Vikings that have just arrived back. The Marauders Marines engaging again, trying to catch the Thors on the ramp, because that's about the most favorable engagement that they could get. If only Zyrnak had some SCVs with these Thors, they wouldn't have died here, but they are going to finally go down, and another Thor gets pulled back at the last moment. Meanwhile, we have Thors harassing the 4th base. Thor harass is happening right now.
Thor's outranged planetaries with no upgrades, man. That's the thing.
Oh, and a cancel goes down on all of those racks. And man, there are a lot of Thors on the map still.
There are, but he can't replenish.
Yeah, Zyrnak is essentially out of money right now. The bio arrives, and it's going to force the Thors to at least back up some.
And this is why those Vikings in the top right-hand corner of the map were so clutch. If it weren't for taking out that 3rd base, Zyrnak would have won by now. As we see, it's 45 supply to 93. Yeah, Zyrnak has only 4 Thors.
And Zyrnak has 0 income. He's got 7 harvesters. It's 0 gas, 0 minerals coming in for him. And if only he had managed to take out some production with those Thors that got caught on the ramp, then maybe he'd have a shot. But right now, it really doesn't look like it. Trying to snipe the planetary, but there we go. York does start repairing it.
And he's actually punishing him for that, and all these Thors are getting wiped out. I just wanted to point out that there's GG. Before we end the broadcast, though, I wanted to point out that Zyrnak only moved up with about 4 Thors into the main base, tried to move up, when he had about 12 on the map. So if he actually waited for, 10 or so to rally, he might have actually been able to break ThomYorke rather than going in piecemeal with the remnants of his mech army.
Yeah, we saw that happen a few times. Zyrnak definitely, though, came back a lot. Like, that game looked pretty much lost for him for the majority of it. And there, for just a moment, we believed.
It did. Yeah, that was a really good comeback attempt, but NAU does take the 1-0 lead in this best of 3.
Yes, they do. Can game number 2 bring the Colorado School of Mines back into it? I don't know. Click this annotation to find out, and click over there on GaryOak to check out our casting organization Map Control Co., or on my stuff in the lower right-hand corner-ish if you want to find more from me. Thanks, everybody.